because, you know, you can't have an umpire show and a conversation without talking about guys getting tossed. So Gary Darling, Gary threw you out 3 times in your career. And here's a look at one of them if we get the video up.
Oh, geez.
So what happens?
They start the bag at third. Peralta coming to third base. And it's been touched by a fan, and that's going to cost the Tigers a run. They're going to send Peralta back to third.
Jim Lehman's going to go out and have a conversation with the third base umpire here. Delman Young put his hands up immediately, and it appeared that when Delman Young, the left fielder, put his hands up, the umpire, he bought it. But let's take a look to see if a fan really touched it.
Umpires are convening here. They're going to give the run.
Why do you think I got thrown out?
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
They gave him the run. So you remember this play?
Oh, yeah.
Tigers will get
That's funny. Yeah.
So Gary, I got to bring you into this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Darling managed over 30 years in the big leagues. So Gary, your vantage point, what was going on here?
We had spectator interference, and just I had it hitting the first fan before it hit the other fan that was standing in the stands. So at that point, the ball's pretty much dead. And then we decide where the runners would go had the ball not been interfered with by the fan down there. Ron didn't have near as good a view from way on the first base dugout as I did down the third base line.
Yes.
So that's not an automatic double if it hits the fan. You get to place the runner, huh?
Right. If the ball would have just hit the fan there in the orange in the stands, then it's not really spectator interference because it's in the stands, but it hit the guy farther back that was leaning over. I will give Ronnie, though, he got ejected a few times in his life, and that's part of the job being a major league manager. But he never made it personal. He never, I never saw him kick dirt until maybe a little bit later when he was managing the Tigers. On the other side, he did that a little bit. But, he had his say, argued, and he knew he was going to get run when he came out of the dugout. So he wasn't vicious about it or anything like that. It touched that first guy, Ron, not the second guy.
So Gary, now, are you the crew chief? Whose call is that? That's second base. Whose call is that?
My call on the spectator interference. It's the guys behind me who can see where the runners are, where they're going to get placed.
That's why they convene.
That's why we got yeah. I think Bruce. If I remember right, originally we put him at third, and then the first base umpire had a better view, and he's the one that scored the run. So, but I got the ejection because I was the crew chief and I was the initial call. So that's all fine. But like I said, Ron was always a professional, just like Joe was. Part of the job of a manager getting ejected, and part of the job as an umpire is ejecting people. So
you're still so calm about it, Gary. I'd be hot. No. So